So I'm going to be pulling some tarot for the spring equinox, Mercury retrograde, the eclipses we got going on or coming up, all that fun stuff. And I'm going to do it a little differently, so I'm going to break it up by the modality. So this reading is for the cardinal signs, which are going to be Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra. So if you are one of the other modalities, mutable or fixed, be sure to go check out those videos on my TikTok. Now, this can apply to the sun, moon, rising, and I would also say probably your Venus sign, because there's a lot of stuff happening specifically with Venus right now too, and where it is lining up and the other planets that are lining up around it in these placements. So definitely take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and if this is meant for you, it will find you, and if it's not meant for you or it doesn't feel like it aligns, keep scrolling. It costs $0, mind your own business. And if you'd like a little more detail on where this may affect you, you can definitely check out your houses too in your chart and see which houses you have that are ruled by cardinal signs, or what houses have those specific placements in them. Just kind of see what might be affected and where this type of energy might be coming in. So we have a world that has come out twice here, which to me, the world is always like what goes around comes back around. It is whenever things that you have had to let go of or things that you've had to step away from are being delivered back to you in a very significant way, or to help end a cycle, or maybe start a new cycle with something that you had to leave behind before that you were not ready for, but now you are ready for. And especially with it coming out with the Queen of Wands and then the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this is going to usher in a lot of new, fresh movement for you, a lot of new, fresh starts, a lot of things where your curiosity is really going to be piqued, and you're going to be chasing after things that you're very passionate about. This could be people, or this could be specific career goals, or just specific things that you enjoy doing. That's really what this is all about, is about things coming back around to you that really ignite a passion within you. And you're not going to be thinking about the long-term financial abundance of the situation. You're actually going to be thinking more about, how does this feel? Does this feel right? Does this feel good within my intuition and within my gut? And this next era might be a little bit of a you'll feel like you're sort of like in the middle of a process. There isn't really a new beginning or anything like that. And that's sort of what the world talks about, is like the beginning of a cycle, ending the cycle. But with this, it seems like it's more of like a pause and a like play. Like, okay, I took a pause, now I'm about to play again, and I'm about to get started again. It seems like there aren't any really huge, big lessons that are going to be coming from this, or any big catastrophic events that are going to throw you off your path. It looks like you might have even been moving away from that. Like, you're still continuing on in a cycle of learning and in a stepping stone where it's like, all right, you've been learning a lot of big lessons, but maybe it's time to take a pause from the lessons and start actually actively putting the lessons that you have learned into place. And that can get a little rickety and a little rocky. Like, if you notice with this Nine of Pentacles upright, she's got stepping stones that she's been going on the whole time. But in reverse, it's like, oh, well, I might be going a little bit off the path. I might be trying something new. And this is going to revolve heavily around whatever these cycles are that are meant to be fully ended, or being like new cycles beginning, but within the specific pause and play energy. It seems like some of you may have been dealing here recently a lot with like not knowing which direction to go in, or not knowing which decision to make, and that getting you really stuck and like pausing you where you're at. But it seems like now in this new energy that we're tapping into astrologically, you're going to be going through a transformation where you're about to know exactly which decisions you want to make. You're almost like losing your patience with yourself and like ready to move forward. And I know that I've also been kind of feeling that way too, where it's not necessarily that I'm losing my patience with myself, but my patience in general, and I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready for movement, and it seems like that's about to happen. You're not going to have as many options that are going to pop up, but you're going to know which option is meant for you, which is honestly, in my opinion, a little better, especially for this energy, because you'd rather have less options but know immediately which one you're supposed to choose than to have a lot of options and just be confused on it. And that's really what we're leaving here, is that energy of confusion and not knowing which direction to move in. It also seems like that with this new era, it's because you have finally, like, it's only able to really start, or you're only able to really press play on the things that need to be press played on, because you've removed things that are not meant for you. Like, a lot of times we'll get googly eyed over things that like are actually karmic, and think that, oh, well, this is meant to happen because it's repeated before. But just because it's repeated might not mean that it's like meant to be your forever. It could be repeating to teach you a lesson. And it seems like you have finally started moving that energy out of the way. You've moved it away from people that are just going to sit and gawk at you and put themselves above you. You've moved away from things that are keeping you from your happiness, and you've moved away from things that are emotionally withholding. Like you've moved away from things that are emotionally unavailable and people that are emotionally unavailable. And because of that, now you're about to enter a place where it's like justice is going to be served. Like judgment is being placed on those that have hurt you, and you're able to now move forward in a new emotional process where you're really allowing your emotions to speak for themselves, and like you're really allowing healing to come in and allowing the different parts of yourself to acquire the type of healing that you need on those different levels. So like, what does the child you need? What does the teenage you need? What does the future you need? You're really allowing that to play out, and you're being very critical with the decisions you make for yourself and with your heart. And that is why you're able to actually usher in this type of energy that's coming in, and you're really going to play on that. But because also for some reason with the judgment card, I got the feeling that some of you may be solidifying some of these lessons that you've been learning to, like, over the past little bit. You may still have to like solidify the lessons being learned in this next process with this, like, you know, spring equinox, with this, you know, eclipse season, and with Mercury retrograde. You're going to have to really solidify these lessons that are being brought, that you've been having to learn, that you've been going through. You're going to see the final stages of them coming to a close in this next energy where a lot of movement is taking place. And we have the World that has come out again with the Seven of Cups in reverse again, and it specifically come out with these cards over here, which are talking about how you have finally entered a place where you are no longer people pleasing, and you're no longer looking on how to perform for others. You're really looking at yourself and like your needs and what you like, what it is that you want. How do you want to perform? Not to how does someone else want you to perform? What are the things that you want to go after? Not what do other people think you should go after? And that is what's really going to come to play in these next, honestly, I'm getting the energy of 7 weeks. I know that we've had the Seven of Cups come out in reverse twice. We've had a lot of like energy that talks about quick movement. I feel like over the next 7 weeks, specifically, for some reason, you're going to really put into practice, like, what do I want? What are my needs? And you're going to be making decisions specifically for you, and like specifically based off the things that you want, rather than the things that other people have wanted for you, or what you felt like you should do based off of other people's opinions. And that's awesome. That's great. That's good for you. Allow that the world card to really bring in that energy of like, what goes around comes back around. If you've been learning lessons and you've been putting out good energy and you've been stepping away from what is bad for you, then the world is going to bring around what is good for you. It's going to be bringing in blessings, oh God, I sound real Southern, blessings from the lessons that you have learned, and it's going to be bringing around the fruition of the labor and the hard work you put in things. And if you've stopped people pleasing, and that's the energy that you're putting out, is I am not a people pleaser, then the world is going to bring around situations that allow you to prove that you're not a people pleaser, that allow you to really make decisions for you based off what you want, not what others want, and not what others think that you should do, or what other people think that you owe them. Okay, Cardinal signs, that's all I have for you today. So if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that so on my Etsy store, Mage Farms, and be sure until tomorrow to use code Happy Birthday, and you can get half off any of my tarot readings.